Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz.
And I am business entrepreneur Breezy Gipson.
And we're glad that you're with us. We really, really appreciate you tuning in to join us. Of course, we got another great show lined up for you today. An interview with Kershawn, the Don, another female producer. And of course, music industry news. There's a lot of stuff going on and we can't wait to share with you.
Yes, it's another Women in Business Day.
Yes. All right. Yeah. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and play the featured beat of the week, and then we'll dive in a little bit after that.
Sounds good.
Yes. All right. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am excited, thrilled, and delighted to announce that we have the one, the only Kershawn, the Don, in the virtual building with us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed. I can't complain.
Awesome.
Just excited about the things to come.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you could, give us the breakdown a little bit, like who is Kershawn? Give us some history of when you decided that you needed music to be a part of your life.
Well, it all started. It all started at my high school, at Poly High School in Long Beach. And I was just, back then I was just a poet, and I would be on the outskirts of the battle ciphers at lunchtime. So I would just be on the outskirts listening. At that point, I didn't know that I rapped. I just wrote poetry. So fast forwarding to like 2012, I just started rapping and going to different open mics, and I knew I wanted to produce, but I didn't know how to go about it. So, I bought a MIDI controller, and it had Fruity Loops. And I was just like, started messing with Fruity Loops. And then from there, it kind of grew over the years. Last year, I dropped my first project, my first beat tape, actually. It's called Late Bloomer. And I named it Late Bloomer because I realized a lot of different things in my life late, so as far as making beats and music, it came to me pretty later in life. I didn't really embrace it until about 2012. I didn't really embrace it fully. So, so that's me. I rap. And I used to sing. I could hold a little tune, but I used to sing. And I have a couple of videos online, of me doing that. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to dig into the archives and see what I can find. Yeah, awesome. See, I see Breezy over there. You look like you holding back a question.
Well, actually, I have this vision of you. You say that you were attending the different events, and you were standing over on the side, and you were kind of, you just kind of checking things out to see, if the water was okay for you to put your toe in there and everything.
Yeah.
But see, your brain was ticking at that time, and you knew that there was a way in, that you were about to be encompassed with all this and sharing your talents. So I can see you over there just kind of peeping, looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect visual.
The guys that I would be peeping at, they're really heavily in the music community too. So it never stopped for them,
Nice. So yeah, I thought it was interesting that you said that you realized you were a rapper. Can you break that down like a little bit for us? Like a lot of people, they might try to fight something, but it was like, I kind of came to myself.
Me rapping came really, really randomly. I was just sitting down writing a poem about me and my sisters, and the beat was playing. A Tribe Called Quest, We Got the Jazz beat was playing, and I was just, writing the beat, writing the poem, and then all of a sudden I just started rhyming like, oh, okay, where is this going? I'm not gonna stop.
Wow.
So I kept writing and and then I was like, yo, you want to hear this? To my friend who does beats. He was like, yo, this is dope. Nobody doing this in Long Beach, And that's how I kind of started writing raps, just writing poems.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, okay, a lot of times you might find rappers who try to produce or producers who try to rap, but with you having the skill at both, it's obviously that you're connected to the music, so that actual combo is so rare. How do you kind of get into the mode to be able to do both? Your creative process.
My creative process, it's really random. It could be random. I could hear a sample at first. Well, I usually, when I go sit down and do beats, I would start with the drums. If I don't have a sample, I would start with the drums and make something from scratch, and it's like, it's still very kind of new to me making beats, because I started messing around and in 2012, made random beats here and there. And then later, now, years later, I just kind of compiled my randomness into a project. So it's really random. Right now, I'm working on this came about years ago too. So I'm working on a project called Bridge the Gap, which is basically a project I plan on taking the female MCs from the 90s, taking their beats and rhyming over the beats. I have a video on YouTube with one of the songs. I paid this producer to do the beats for me, and it didn't work out. He didn't do the beats, so I was just like, let me just put that to the side and work on a beat, you know. But I just decided to do it like mixtape style, you know.
That's what's up. That's so exciting. I'm excited about
Nobody's done it. Nobody's done that yet. That's why I'm trying to be most organic and original as possible. You know, it's really kind of sad to see when different female beat makers and MCs try to do the same thing, try to fit into a mold that will eventually, it won't be that anymore. We're always progressing, always evolving, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Well, for you to mention those two key words, organic and original, that's very strong right there. You don't hear that a lot, being discussed by artists. So, you know, that's a real door opener for you. And so you stuck your foot in there, got your toe in there, and you're busting the door wide open with that. So that's a great thing.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm really excited about things to come. I really, really want to meet with more female producers, you know, because right now I'm the only one female and Black producer in Long Beach. I haven't come across anybody else in my city doing it without doing what I'm doing, you know.
Wow. Yeah. You know, it's something that I feel like it's been getting more and more exposure, yet people aren't really kind of like looking at it. And so, you know, I randomly still get the, hey bro, love your beats, nice work. Like my profile picture is right there. My name is Achickwitbeatz. Like, why are you still calling me bro? But yeah, I think the more that we do stuff like this, you know, and just kind of show people, then, you know, maybe that'll inspire, you know, more women to kind of get into it. Because I mean, you know, we got the skills, we can hang with the bros, and then a lot of times you do beat sets, they try to stick you with the other women, and it's like, well, yeah, it's just unnecessarily gendered, but yeah. Yeah,
I don't think that's the bad thing though, like, because I have a vision of doing a project with all female beat makers, all female MCs and singers, you know, just breaking the mold and, you know, like, hey, we here, we representing, we doing it, you know. Yeah, no, I think it's different when it's to, you know, bring awareness or like that togetherness coming from us. It's just more so when, you know, maybe it's a male sponsored event, like, okay, we're gonna do a beat battle, I'm gonna put the girls against the girls, and like, well, you know, nobody ever does that with any other occupations. Could you imagine like telling your doctor or your dentist, like, man, you are the best male dentist I've ever heard. Like, you know, it's just a weird thing, but but I hope that you can inspire, you know, some of the women in Long Beach to kind of, you know, step into the arena. I've been looking for them, you know, because it's not big of a city, but it's the community. The music community is really tight knit and small. So that's why I say I'm the only Black female producer in Long Beach. But if there's another one, I'm searching for. And like, if I do find somebody in Long Beach that produces, I can guarantee you that they won't be Black. You know. So you know, it's just that. Yeah. Like I say, hopefully, you know, we can keep doing the stuff that we're doing to kind of raise awareness to the fact that, yeah, we're here. We got the heat. So what about you? What's your process? Oh, man. You have Shrek or The Machine.
Yeah,
and I wanted, like, years ago, I wanted to try that out, you know, but I just never picked it up. But one of my friends, she has one. She's from Compton, and she makes beats off a machine. And it's kind of like connected with the computer.
Yeah, because you can do it, you know, kind of either way. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm usually melody first, then drums, which was funny that you brought that up because I was definitely going to ask. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of usually when I'm in a vibe, or sometimes I'll just sit down and mess around and then just see what happens. But yeah, so what software do you use?
Lord have mercy. I have one. Lately, I've been venturing off of the software into more hardware, but software that I use would be Ableton and most recently Reasons because of the sounds. But you know what? I've been off of Ableton for like a year now, and I'm just trying to throw myself back into the groove and, you know, try. And I'm in the process of finding another process because it's like I get bored and this sounds the same. This sounds like the last beat I made. And, you know, but right now, I don't know if you heard of Roch G. He's a pretty big deal out here. And I bought his FP 404 a week before he died. So that was really sad, you know. I also have the SP 202, which is like, you know, vintage software. I started with the MPD 26, which is a MIDI player. That was what I started with Fruity Loops and stuff like that. So basically, working on a more refined set that I can travel and do shows with, you know, just searching, you know, for that vibe. It's all about the vibe, you know.
Yeah, all about the vibe. What do you say to that, Breezy?
Yeah, I mean, but see, you're coming across very, very strong in your beliefs and what you're trying to do. And so you just stick with that, and, you know, sooner or later that BAM is gonna come through, if it already hasn't. You see, so you're a warm spirit. You're talking the music lingo. You got your energy flowing with that, and, you know, I'm looking for continued and bigger success from you. The point is, don't give up. Keep your pedal to the metal, and it's gonna happen for you.
Thank you so much, Breezy. That's my main thing right now, you know, is just to travel and do shows. That's all I want to do right now.
Yeah, well, if your travel's fine, you in the lower Michigan area, I hope we can connect. Yeah, it's been really great having you on, and you know, just really appreciating hearing your stories, your experiences, and yeah, and I know we're gonna keep having more greatness from you, so of course, you know, we'll have to have you back again sometime soon.
Absolutely, and thank you for this platform. It's very much needed, you know.
Thank you.
Well, you know, that I still keep going back to that piece where you were first starting out and you were kind of peeping. Okay, what that's doing is
what did you say?
Where when you were first attending the events, and you were standing in the background and you were watching, and so what that's doing is that's inspiring a whole lot of people when they hear you say that, because you know, they can relate to themselves as what they may be doing or what they avoided doing, and you know, so you're coming straight through from the heart, sharing what it is that you did way back in the day, and so now you've progressed and you're putting your heart and soul into what you're doing. So my point is that you are an inspiration, whether you know that or not. You're a huge inspiration to a lot of folks just by sharing that with us and them. And so, you know, that's not scripted. That came straight off of your dome. And that's very, very meaningful and warm for you doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Achickwitbeatz, would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
So, you've already shared so much information. What advice would you have to share to somebody like Breezy was just mentioning that might be listening and maybe, instead of watching, they want to jump in but don't know how to do it?
I say just jump out there and just know you have nothing to lose and more to gain from just jumping out there. It's a constant learning process. You're never going to stop learning with this. You just need to and if you do plan on just jumping out there, like prepare yourself, practice and just prepare yourself. Because that's essentially what I'm doing is just jumping out there and doing my thing. I know this other lady producer out of Leimert Park called Lena Fornia. She's so dope. But she gave me a chance to perform at her event. And I wasn't ready at all. But you're never going to be ready. You're never going to have that, okay, this is going to go like this.
Yeah.
You're never going to be ready. So I just say, just do it.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, before we get ready to head out and all that, I want to make sure everybody knows where to follow you, where they can find your music, where they can keep up with what you got going on, and you can tell us what you got in the works, and anything that you want to shout out, I guess.
Well, you can follow me on. I'm pretty active on Instagram. Kershawn, KERSHAWN. You can follow me on Bandcamp and Spotify. Just stream my album everywhere. It's called Late Bloomer. So just type in Kershawn Late Bloomer, and the beats will pop up pretty much anywhere. So, and all the aspiring female artists, we need you.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go, let's get it. We here. It's 22, and things are only gonna get better from here. So, yeah.
Yes, I love it.
She's Achickwitbeatz. She's got a little spark plug in her right there.
Oh yeah.
She's creating some good stuff. So yeah,
I'm inspired, y'all. I'm actually gonna work on a beat right now.
Hey,
yeah,
that's what's up. So yeah, we really, really thank you for your time, your energy, your wisdom, and before we headed out, turn it over to Breezy, just in case he has another comment that you want to leave us with.
Yeah, just don't be a stranger. We're going to be reaching back out to you, and just don't want you to be a stranger because your energy is very strong. You're fresh, and you're committed. That's what's standing out to me, that you're committed. So that means that you're in the mix and going to be in the mix. So we want to continue this dialogue that we have with you, from time to time, to just kind of peek in. And so you share with our audience just what you got going on at that time. Is that all right with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Great. Awesome. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. You have just heard Kershawn. Make sure you check her out everywhere that she said. And thanks again. All right. It was really great to have her on the show. It's always nice to hear from other people, especially in, my profession. But it was really great to have her on to share her experiences and wisdom. And just very enjoyable.
Yeah, like I was saying, another Women in Business Day. So anytime it's like that, then it's a good day.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with music industry news right after this.
McAllen and the Rio Grande, or in Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles. It is business, big business.
Okay, and we're back with music industry news. Of course, we've got to kick it off with what's just been buzzing all over social media. The whole Neil Young's departure from Spotify. I mean, there's a lot going on there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, from start to stop. I mean, well, let me rephrase that, from start to start, because it hadn't stopped.
Right. Yeah. So, just in case somebody out there isn't aware, even though it's been, all over the social media platforms and whatnot, but we're happy to fill you in. So, Neil Young said that Joe Rogan's podcast has just been spreading misinformation about COVID. So he said that Spotify could either choose between his music or Joe Rogan. So they said he said that if they kept Joe Rogan on, he didn't want his music on there. So that's what they decided to do, answer his request. So there were a lot of people just kind of buzzing, like, I can't believe they chose Joe Rogan over music, essentially saying that that's what it boils down to. So, this brought up so many other topics. But first of all, he stands to lose about 60% of his streaming income just from that decision alone. And so most artists typically generate just a fraction of their total income from streaming. But since he has fewer revenue streams than others, because he doesn't license his songs for commercial use or anything like that, and he hasn't done any live shows since 2019. So, this was a really, really bold choice for him. Probably thinking that Spotify might side with him. But, they ended up not doing that. So, I mean, if you look at what the request initially was, that would essentially mean that Spotify would have to start censoring, content creators. And so that's one of the reasons why they didn't want to dive too far into it. Plus, they made an exclusive deal with Joe Rogan. So that's the only place his podcast is supposed to be broadcasting. And he attracts 11 million users per episode, while Neil Young brings in 6 million users per month. So if you look at it from a number standpoint, the reason why they did what they did is pretty obvious. But, as we've shared before, with the whole streaming thing, artists get less than a penny per stream. So obviously, they're kind of all about the numbers. So I'm not really sure why anybody kind of would have expected any less. But this isn't just affecting Neil Young. Hypnosis Songs Fund, as we shared with you a while ago, that they bought a 50% stake in his songwriting catalog. So it was about $150 million last year that they spent. And so now they're going to see some of those profits that they were looking for just kind of dwindling a little bit. So, I mean, then when you look at it that way, okay, so somebody else has invested. There are people who have bought into this fund to be able to recoup some of his royalties that now he'll be getting a lot less of. And on Twitter, somebody had asked he had asked David Crosby, one of his band members, if he'd be following his example to support him. And Crosby said, I can't control it. Otherwise, I would be in support of him, because Crosby had sold his catalog. So he has no control over it now. So, we're starting to see that double-edged sword there with selling your royalties, and you don't really have that much control over it. So now he can't even support his friend because he doesn't own his catalog anymore.
Well, see, there's different ramifications for every step we take in a day's time. So many of the big boys, big women, they're selling their stuff for the money. All right, well, that's all great. I mean, and some of that money is money that would never in any other situation ever be earned. And so they're earning it. All right. Well, then you go back to Spotify, and Spotify is under the magnifying glass, because when you really look at Spotify, how did they start? What was their modus, their modum operandi when they first started? Was it for talk, or was it for music, or was it for both, or what was it for? You see, that's a question that people should ask. For what reason does Spotify come around in the first place? So if it was for talk, then they get a check mark. If it was for music, then that check mark's taken away. But see, Spotify is no different than what those people who were trying to buy up all of these artists' music catalogs. They're just after money. So Spotify doesn't really care one way or the other. All right. And so, but there's a trickle down to that, because indeed, no business wants to really create a negative impression on opportunities to create income. See, that's what boils down to that. See, Spotify is about generating income. Okay, well, here's a major piece pulling out. Okay, but then that led to another major piece pulling out. Okay, so see, Spotify's got to inspect that very carefully too, because everybody's not into what Joe Rogan is into. So if they pull if the listeners start going other directions, see, it's a 50-50 thing. So yeah, Spotify is going after the money from the ratings, but they're losing on the music. So that's why I brought up, you have to look at why Spotify came into existence in the first place. Was it was it because of talk, or was it because of music? And so yes, Spotify's under they're all under the magnifying glass. Yeah. So we shall see.
Yeah.
Because when you look back 5 years ago, how much talk was on Spotify, or you go back to however it was when they first started. So did Spotify make a shift for money? Did Spotify come in starting as music only, and then discovered that if they shift away from music and include talk for the money, then another sheet's been pulled back, because then you see, okay, well then Spotify offering it for money.
And yeah, because you mentioned that, so yes, of course they appeared to be coming in for the music and saying that it were for the artists. But as I mentioned earlier, if you look at the streaming payouts, you can tell it was all about the money from the beginning. So I think that's part of the reason why, some of this responses kind of surprised me, although it's great to stand up for anything that you believe in, for sure. But I don't know, I feel like there are other reasons for people to have done the actions with all the big artists, major artists that have started pulling their catalogs off. That kind of would have been really helpful to do that back when everybody first raised questions about the streaming payouts. So, I mean, can you imagine that kind of support, especially for independent artists, if the major artists said, hey, we're going to back away until you start paying, everybody a little bit more fairly. So, it's just kind of interesting that Joe Rogan's podcast actually garnered that much attention, as opposed to, some of the stuff that many of us little artists have been complaining about for a while.
I'm sorry about that. Well, one thing about it for sure is that, okay, this is like, happy February Day. Okay, the beginning of February, first week of February. So this will probably be going on all the way through December.
Yes.
So it will not be resolved quickly, and there's going to be another episode, another episode, another episode, and it will go on and on. So, and we're sitting back with some popcorn and we're watching to see what happens. So.
You know, yes.
For real. Wow.
Absolutely. All right. And, you know, hey, we were just talking about those catalogs. Primary Wave bought stakes in Def Leppard's music publishing catalog and their master royalty income stream. So Def Leppard's catalog includes 11 studio albums and over 110 million albums sold globally. In the last about 10 or so years, their songs have been synced on many TV shows, including like Cobra Kai, Hit the Floor, Simpsons, American Horror Story. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. So they've already been, you know, raking it in. So it would make sense that somebody would want to acquire a stake in that. So yeah, their music's been streamed over 5.5 billion times, and they average like 8 million monthly listeners on Spotify alone just in 2021. So, you know, there's two caveats to that story there. So one, that they already had the money rolling in. Primary Wave just signed on to get a piece of it. And two, people are still listening to those evergreen classics. So to have that many listeners listen to them just last year, it shows you that people are interested in the stuff that sticks around with that staying power.
Yeah. I mean, there's no response on that. I mean, they're just interested in, and so, you know, those guys struck gold, black gold, oil, however you want to phrase it. And so, you know, hats off to them. You know, that name will carry on for a long time.
Yes. All right. And Universal Music Group has expanded their relationship across Amazon Music and Twitch. So under the agreements that they've worked out, Amazon Music Unlimited subscribers will have access to be able to stream even more music in HD, Ultra HD, spatial audio, and all this good stuff specifically from Universal's catalog. And so fans will be able to purchase merchandise from their favorite artists directly from the Amazon Music app. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a interesting combination there, and a good thing to happen. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that and see what transpires from there.
Oh yeah.
All right, and Loom has transitioned into an NFT first platform. So their goal is to kind of decentralize the music industry, like most of these companies that we've shared so far. Loom did start off initially as an artist-centric site, and you know, they kind of urged a lot of early adopters, but then they decided to just kind of shut it down and start all over once they saw what was happening. So yeah, this way the fans will be able to make money off of royalties that they deserve from selling an NFT, a music NFT from an artist that they like, and so forth. So there are a lot of possibilities here. You know, we shared last year, at the very end of last year, that someone had predicted that, you know, chances are there's going to be a shift from all these streaming services to basically an NFT focused service. So, I mean, we still got some time in the year to see it happen, but with all these stories that we keep bringing you, I'm kind of curious to see which one's going to emerge as the leader, and see who comes in as a close second as well.
Yeah, and I came across a news story about a couple of young ladies who were purchasing a home, and for some reason they got behind on their home payments, and it's kind of started spiraling out of control. And a month behind, a couple of months, you know, when you get to that level, you risk losing your investment with the home. And so they quickly got together and created an NFT painting. And that painting, somebody bought that painting right away for about $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 or something like that. And then so in 24 hours, they went from being broke and couldn't afford their mortgage into complete reversal. And
Yeah.
so these things keep popping up. Some I'm sure on the negative side, but a lot of them on the positive side. So just
most
keep
are.
your eye on them.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to take another quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with more music industry news right after this. Man. Okay, so I guess for the most part, a lot of people do know that the Super Bowl doesn't really pay the entertainers for the halftime show. So because of that, I guess it kind of trickles down to some of the other people that are out there providing the entertainment as well. So, it came up that most of the dancers usually don't get paid. And so once that was shared, some people were outraged. Other people were just calling for change, but basically saying that dancers should be paid for their work. So I guess the normal practice is for a few of them to be hired, but then the rest to be volunteer. However, the volunteers have to keep the same schedule as the ones who are paid. And so this is something that people used to do, just for exposure, the experience, to be able to put it on their resume, which you can see happen across all forms of entertainment at some point. But this year, the halftime choreographer, the lead choreographer, had revealed that 115 dancers would be paid, which was the most that have ever been hired for that. But so instead of just celebrating, like, hey, okay, that's great that you can hire more dancers, but then, what about everybody else? So it's kind of interesting to see there are a lot of people that have a lot of different opinions about it. As I learn, anytime you share stuff on social media, you get to hear the responses. But it's just something that they're trying to bring awareness to, and just saying, hey, maybe you should just start paying the people that are actually out there providing the entertainment. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I am happy that it's a topic that's being discussed because, like I said, it happens to everybody in entertainment. And yeah, they'll give up kind of what they deserve just for the chance of getting more exposure. And sometimes it's just not enough.
Yeah, well, the whole spectrum from A to Z is encompassed in that. Whether you're a young and budding artist or whether you're a seasoned professional, every event that's out there, some of them pay, some don't. Some of them are very notable events and some aren't. So, you have to weigh that, and the artists have to weigh that. And I don't know whether that's ever going to come across a finality. Ooh, that's
yeah. That's a whole nother episode in itself. Yeah.
You're right. It is. Wow.
Yeah. All right. 300 Entertainment. I feel like we have news about them so often. But yeah, they're launching a content and film division called 300 Studios. So they're supposed to be developing multi-format, feature, and episodic content. And it's all supposed to be through a cultural point of view. The first project is a docuseries called Race, Bubba Wallace, and it's going to be out on Netflix this month. Matter of fact, it could be out right now. But yeah, so far the studio's released over 85 episodes of Unplugged, and it says it has over 20 projects in production. So of course, like indie movies, music lifestyle series, and podcast initiatives and everything. So, they've diversified. 300 Entertainment, like, yeah, they've got their hands in everything all across entertainment. So, we know about the sports division. Every time you turn around, they're making new moves. And so, yeah, kudos to Kevin Liles, who they're led by. So,
over 85 in the can already. Oh my gosh.
Of Unplugged. So, because that was, well, I don't want to date myself, but yeah, that was a big deal on MTV back in the day. But yeah, so even though they're branching, that shows that there's a lot of people that's hard at work behind the scenes, right? Yep, constantly. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and Warner Music Group is building a musical theme park and metaverse that fans will be able to buy adjacent property to virtually in the Sandbox. So, Sandbox keeps popping up in our news stories a lot lately too, but this will be the Sandbox's first music themed world. And so they've already partnered with other artists on the platform like Snoop Dogg, Steve Aoki, and other people individually, but this is the biggest partnership to date, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. So I'm gonna give you some free game here. As much as we keep mentioning the Sandbox, go ahead and sign up, get your artist name out there. Just a little tip, because this is one of the ones. I think a lot of these will be important, but the Sandbox definitely has little bitty news stories dropping all the time. So you definitely want to get in on the ground floor.
But one thing we've learned for sure is when Achickwitbeatz drops a nugget like that, some gold, you better pay attention and follow up with it. That's for sure. Gold. Pay attention to it.
Hey, I try. All right, and Warner, again, all types of deals and stuff going on, but this one is with One Of, and if you remember, that's the NFT platform that was backed by Quincy Jones. So Warner struck a deal with them for their music NFTs. So it's a green Web3 company, so they use a lot less energy than most of the popular NFT platforms. So if that's something that you're concerned about, they're supposed to be the answer to that. And so now that they've got that partnership, they're going to be creating exclusive NFTs for many of their artists across their whole catalog. So I'm going to be excited to see what kind of drops come from that. One Of was able to get in on the exclusive Whitney Houston NFTs that had like the early cut demo that people hadn't heard before and all that. So yeah, they're already kind of breaking ground on some stuff. So I'm excited to see what comes forth.
Yeah, me too. And there's never any end in sight, as far as the great things that can happen. So I'm excited and watching as well.
Yeah. All right. And again, Warner is following Sony's lead, and they're scrapping the unrecouped balances for heritage artists. So, word on the street is that Universal will be doing the same thing within a couple of months. Music Business Worldwide reported that they have really good sources that say that that's happening. So Sony set the trend last June, and so it's good that the other big two are going to be following suit. And just in case you're not aware, because sometimes, different phrases get attached to things within the industry and it just sounds like jargon. But the heritage artists are the ones who signed with the company and received their advances before the year 2000. So, yeah, it's a good thing that's happening. Those people should be able to benefit off of streaming now. And very happy that they're following suit.
Hey, well, another door.
Mm-hmm. All right. And this last news story is more of a heads up for you, but Bandcamp Live has launched. So it's supposed to be an easy way to stream your next performance or host a listening party. You can either make it free, you can sell tickets, and your fans can support your merch table and all of that during a live chat. So if that's something that you're interested in, or probably want to get interested in, there's the info for you. You should definitely take advantage. Bandcamp is definitely an artist first platform, and they keep showing that with all these new moves and advancements. But they even brought back Bandcamp Fridays again for a limited time. So that's where they waive their commission fee and you can just sell. And so yeah, it's a really good thing that they're doing. So make sure that you get in on that.
Make sure you get in on that, because that's large. Don't let it pass you by without at least investigating to see if you can participate with that.
Right. All right, we're gonna take a quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back to close out the night.
Okay.
And that's a wrap for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We're glad that you tuned in, and I just really enjoy this time of the week. How about you?
Yeah, it's really spectacular. In order for us to get together, we just collaborate and make some great things happen. But in the end, it's the listener that wins. And, as long as the listener wins, then we're happy about that. So because without a listener, where would we be? So we're very committed to presenting this avenue for you to tune in and just see what's happening. And which there's a lot happening. So thank you over there, and also thank you over there for tuning in.
For sure, yes, absolutely. All right, and so, we'll be back same time, same place. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.